So I thought I'd do another very brief food and wine video. This is my favorite red wine. Okay, and here you see part of Indian takeaway. In the large village where I live, there's just one Indian restaurant, and okay, it's pretty decent. I think, though, of course, the best Indian restaurants are in the UK. But I wanted to talk about the wine, just because there's a story which I find appealing to myself, perhaps not interesting to other people. This is actually, I mean, to my shame, this is an Argentinian wine, because I usually, out of principle, only drink wines from Europe, and of course wines from Europe are all you need, of course. But once in a while I make an exception and buy an Argentinian or occasionally a Chilean Malbec. So this is red wine made of the Malbec grape, which grows, as you can see on the label, they proudly say, grows at 2,000 meters above sea level in the Andes. And it's a lovely red wine, which is just perfect with a spicy Indian food. And yeah, it's fantastic wine with curries, strong curries. It's a strong wine, 13.5 or 14%. And so what's this grape, the Malbec? This is actually the same grape which used to be the main red wine grape in France, but was wiped out at the beginning of the 20th century, I don't know, around 1900, by some infection of some fungus. I forget what it was called, but there was a fungal infection which basically ruled out all of the best and most important and significant French red wine vines. Now, since then, there have not been, nobody has grown Malbec vines in France because they'll just get damaged by that same fungus again, and you won't get any grapes out of them. At least that was almost the case till recently. But the Malbec vine did survive in South America, in the Andes, and it's one of, as I said, I find it the best red wine, and it's so reliable and so delicious, and it's just such a pity that it has to come from so far. Now, actually, it doesn't have to come from so far anymore, because they've reintroduced it to France now. They've reintroduced the Argentinian descendants of the originally French Malbec, and you can occasionally get a bottle of Malbec from in a supermarket from France, and even biological ones, eco-friendly ones. I'll just look at the back of the label and tell you what it says. I ought to be able to taste. This vintage has a unique fruity style, keeping the classic elegance with a firm structure and delicate finish. Okay, so this is not the usual extensive blurb. I mean, this is just a very strong 40% alcohol red wine with some barrel select. Okay, so it's ripened in whatever it is, matured in oak barrels, so you can actually taste the oak as well as the grape itself. And okay, it's a very dry red wine. And this one, does it have a date? This is by Norton, company called Norton, since 1895, estate bottled, harvest 2024. So it's just last year. So it's a very, very young. I mean, it's yeah, but you could keep this quite a few years in your cellar. I would find it very hard to keep it more than a few months in my cellar. Okay.